11397, nigga. A legend was made, nigga.
R.I.P. to Wapo, he was. R.I.P. to Wapo, he was.
Turn me up, nigga.
They always kill someone young getting it in. Why? I don't know.
Give me 4 cents.
So, real shit. I'm gonna talk to y'all about self-healing in a second.
I should gang bang and I was born in the 90s. About 11, 12 when I first decided what the fuck I'ma claim, who the fuck I'ma ride with. Bitch, I'm 8 block of life, so I got that shit tied. Teed up on these niggas like the offensive lineman. Young and coming out, I was putting that time in. Niggas steady hating, cause they jumping behind me. I said, fuck it, get this money, I'ma kill them with kindness. Yeah. Shit was adding up, now it's starting to minus. Used to shoot it out, it was easy to find us. Now we getting older, it's just homework assigned. Before I come up like the crib, I gotta get the blinds. Rock jeans and my nights and the jet short dodges.
Alright, now that's over with. I want to talk about self-healing. Yep. And how I had to heal myself because doctors couldn't help me heal. This is something from 2015. For some reason, I could not walk for 3 months. For 3 months, I couldn't walk. I had to ice my feet every night, every single night, like just to lay down in bed. That's how bad it would hurt, right? So once I knew that the doctors could not help me because I went into there and they were telling me, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. How you gonna tell me there's nothing wrong with me when I feel it? Where they do that at? I guess Columbus, Georgia. There was never a diagnosis. It just came out of nowhere. And at the time, it kind of freaked me out. I remember when it first happened, it started as something tingling in my feet, moved up to my heart chakra, had a panic attack, and it went from there, man. It was in one foot at first, and then the pressure got too much and it traversed to the other foot. So my feet was getting swollen and whatnot. I'm looking for ways to calm the swelling and get back to walking and all that. And this is where the self-healing comes into play. There's different forms of self-healing. You can meditate, but there's lots of forms of meditation. This could be a form of meditation, just talking to folks, you know. But I would sit outside and I would sit under the sun, regardless. Even if it was a cloudy day, I was making sure I was sitting outside barefoot, just so I can connect with the Earth's magnetic field, because the Earth's magnetic field actually harmonizes with the bodies. And that leads towards self-healing. That's one way to benefit the body. And not only that, but I was focusing through my chakras from the divine source energy, whatever you would like to call it, God, blah, blah, blah. But I ain't trying to be on no names here because some people are religious. But the source energy is the primary thing that heals you. It's not you doing the work. No, it's source potential, infinite energy, God, whatever you may like to call it. So as I was saying, I couldn't walk for 3 months, and it took me 3 weeks, 4 weeks to heal myself once I really started to get serious with the self-meditation practice and the healing of thyself. I did a lot of reading, and y'all don't have to do no reading. All you have to do is feel the energy. You have to feel it flowing through you. Like, it's hard to explain over a video. The best way to learn how to do these things is to just practice yourself. Say you fall, bust your kneecap. Okay, sit there, meditate with it, be with the pain. Once you're with the pain, then you can start to learn something from it. Whether that be emotional, physical. You can't say it's spiritual trauma because it happened because of your spirituality being off balance. It's a trinity, mind, body, soul connection, right? And there's these books that I would read. Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life, Part 1 and Part 2. It's the whole reason I got this sacred geometry little thing right here. It's actually the flower of life itself. And within these geometric patterns holds um, humanity's strive for perfection. And I could talk all day about that. We're staying on healing topics. So not only should you meditate, that's one thing. You should ground yourself. Bare feet, no rubber. Rubber does not conduct electricity, and your electromagnetic field is essentially it's electricity. It's a frequency, and rubber will block that. So you don't want to have no type of shoes on. Don't want to have socks on. Not for real. And you want to sit there, sit outside. And if the sun is out, it is perfect because the sun is a great healer. But that won't be the only thing to help you heal. You have to inform yourself. You have to know how and why your body is healing and why you're going through these things. Me, at the time, my root chakra was all the way thrown off. You may ask what a root chakra is if you don't know what it is. It's your connectivity to Mother Earth, essentially. It's where the energy comes up through the bottom, just like how you got your crown chakra where energy comes down through. Now, this is not esoteric knowledge. This is science. This is science. Now we're talking about energy vortices. They just call them chakras, for I guess lack of better terms for back in the day. But these are energy vortices where the flow of energy centers and spirals and swirls throughout the body. There's 7 major chakras and plenty of minor ones if you were to get into that. You don't have to get into it, even learn how to self-heal. We used to start by we, as in me and the people I would be around while they were used to call us a cult, because we'd sit outside meditating and stuff and feeling for the flow of energies, right? This is not something that is unique to just me or the people around me. Everyone has this ability, but people are so closed-minded that they can't even see it. Like, they can't even feel it. Their thoughts won't let them open up to the possibility that, hey, maybe I can heal myself. So guess what happens? You shut down to it and you're not able to heal yourself. I see people walking around that are injured and all they rely on is medications. I've never relied on medications. Anytime I took something, it was because honestly I had wanted to be high. This was back in the day. Now we're talking 2015. Anytime I took anything, any type of pill, it was because I wanted to be high, not because I wanted to feel better. Because those things never worked for me. I've always had to heal myself. Doctors could never help me with any ailment. And the foot thing is just one thing, man. It gets past just healing yourself. You can start to help others learn how to heal. My mom's had countless of seizures, countless from this, that, or the third. I don't need to go into detail, but the energy can stabilize people. It can vibrate. You can start the vibration gets to such a level that healing becomes practically the only thing that the body can do, because once you vibrate higher, those lesser energies, they have no choice but to remove themselves from the body. And I tell some people this, and they can take it with a grain of salt and not care about it for all I care. I mean, the purpose is to get the information out there that it is possible. People think that Jesus was the only type of healer. Nah, man, there's been plenty throughout all religions. Pay attention, see how they all connect. I'm not religious. I'm not even non-denominational. I'm spiritual in my own sense. And I'm trying to think of some other major traumas where I healed myself. Oh, back in freaking 6th and 7th grade when I played baseball a lot of travel baseball, I had ended up getting tendonitis in my elbow, right? Doctors couldn't help me for shit. I used to wake up and my elbow would be stiff as hell, literally stiff, where I couldn't move it right. So I had to force it open. This was back before I knew anything about channeling, healing, any of that, the esoteric. I healed myself, not even knowing I was healing myself. So these things can be unconscious and conscious. It's just best if if you're made aware of what's actually going on within the body, and it's not just spirit. This is science. This can be scientifically proven and mapped. And if you ain't keeping up with today's technology, then you're just falling behind with the times. We can now take pictures of your aura with specific types of cameras, and people don't even know it. Like all of these things that I'll talk about can be scientifically proven. I don't say shit that can't be backed by science because I'm a rational person myself. And it took me finding spirit science, the science of the spirit, in order to understand God in my own sense. You follow me? Because I was I was forced into Christianity growing up, and I never really vibed with it. So eventually I stopped going to church and stuff, and I just was like, you know what? If there's a God there, so be it, whatever. It didn't matter to me. And then I learned of Christ consciousness. What is Christ consciousness? It's what Leonardo da Vinci was drawing in Vitruvius Man. Vitruvius Man, how you pronounce it. And he was basing it off of this simple creation pattern, the flower of life, sacred geometry. If you go back and do your research, you can see how they all overlap each other, right? Oh, I gotta hurry up because I got to go. But uh, there's so much to discuss and digress on from previous posts. Self healing is real, man. If you think you need some other external help to heal yourself, you're wrong, because not only have I done this, my brother has self-healed himself, cousins, lots of people have. I'm just a vessel. I'm just a channel, man. And I know how to channel well at that. When people say they get what they want, well, there's reasons to that, because it's not only healing energy, it's creative energy, it's sexual energy. These things that can be converted, it's all one of the same. Like we could start talking about tantra, and that's still the same form of energy. It's really interesting once you delve deeper into the topic, because you see how all things really do connect, and on a way that can be scientifically proven. Personally, I found God through mathematics, and it was through geometry, geometrical mathematics, sacred geometry. It's ancient knowledge, ain't nothing new about it. Like the Egyptians were on this before anyone, it seems. Like the Sumerians knew of this. Like they don't teach this in schools though. Why, I do not know, but in 10 years I bet they have a course on spirit science. Guaranteed, because it's such a phenomenal thing that's becoming more and more open and talked about throughout each and every community, the science of the spirit, because that's really the only frontier we haven't tried to 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 go deeper into. Okay, we explored Earth. We may not have found the deepest depths of the ocean, but so what? We out there in outer space, light years away with probes. Humanity has reached far and wide for these different things, when really we have yet to go within. When all these sacred teachings, they really teach you to go within, not look without. There's a deep meaning behind that. Is as above, so below, as within, so without, as the universe, so the soul. Hermes Trismegistus. I quote that from the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. You know who that is? He was a god in Egypt. And these gods, I don't think they were really gods. I think they were just people of higher levels of consciousness, man. Because you see these miracles happen all the time. Like people miraculously doing this, that, or the third. It's not hard to find proof for these things. That you just have to search. You seek and you shall find. Just like you shall find opposition to the things that I say as well. But it's counterproductive once you put science into it, because nobody's refuting the scientific facts that everything is waveform and frequency. You got sine waves, you got, cosine waves. That's all the universe is made up of, man. These harder density things like a laptop, It's just lower frequency waves turning. It's matter. We call it matter for a lack of better terms. It's just lower frequency vibrational waves. And then you got things like air, which you can't see, vibrating at a very, very high frequency. So it's lighter. The atoms and molecules are spread farther apart. It's on a higher frequency. Things of like a laptop, a desk, this, everything physical is at a lower density. The atoms are closer together. Therefore, they conjoin and you start to see objects form. Because I'm Cuban. Well, same for real, but you're a Scorpio, so shit. The energy flows through you just as it flows through me. Not saying any sign is different, but the more intuitive and open you are to these things, the more you get what you want. You may not get what you want all the time or at the right time, but you're going to eventually get it, you know? And with the whole 2012 thing, man, that's when I first started self-discovery, honestly, through spirit science. I just so happened to stumble upon it, not by chance. Nothing's by chance. I don't believe in coincidence. It's all synchronized. You be stuck in my page. If I'm on Facebook, I'm looking at everybody's shit. What you mean? Anyway, where was I at? I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, it was essentially we're talking about healing all in all. So I'm not even going to get all off topic about it because I can go all the way to left field, then come back to right field, first base, and home plate with these topics, and still it'll all connect. It really will. But if you want to learn the basics, start with sacred geometry. It's all geometrical, literally. Everything in the universe is a geometrical frequency. It is. What's the first thing that forms? The thoughts. What do thoughts form? They form ideas. And what do ideas form? They eventually manifest into something physical if you act upon those ideas, especially if it's something creative, you know? The more and more you think about something, the more and more you attract it. You call it the law of attraction. I call it just the process of creation. I mean, it explains it in every religious text, the process of creation, just in a different way, just as I'm explaining in a different way. I'm not the only person to talk about these things. A lot of people do, but I don't see nobody from Columbus, Georgia talking about these things. So I'm going to let it be known because I ain't scared to let y'all know what's up, especially if it's true and scientifically backed up. And I stress the word scientifically because a lot of y'all people say it's esoteric, is this, that, or the third. Nah, nigga, it's science. I can show you this scientifically mapped. So how are you going to refute the science? It's virtually impossible because you're going to have to do a lot of regressing if you're trying to dispute these things that have been known to science, the scientific community, for years upon years now. We're just now starting to understand them a little better. But yeah, man, self-healing is definitely real, and it starts with knowing thyself. Know thyself, then you shall know the world around you. The world around you is created internally. It is. But it's not just your world, it's everybody's world. So we co-create. Be selfish and create on your own if you want. And you create your own separate hell, your own separate reality, such as the Lucifer text up in the Bible say how he wanted to be just like God. You know, he wanted to be equal to God's source energy, so he created his own reality out of selfishness. This is a metaphor I use. I take the Bible as a metaphor, just as any other religion, to the practicalities of it all. What it really means to me is that he was selfish with his creative ways, and he didn't help his fellow angels, whatever you may call them, people. He didn't help his fellow brethren and sister to build a better a better creation for all, essentially. That's what I take from it. So he fell. Why did he fall? Selfishness, greed, all of the things that the Ten Commandments, quote unquote, tell you not to be, not to do, not to embody. Why? Because it's not Christ-like. Why is it not Christ-like? Because in order to reach Christ consciousness, these these things you cannot do. You just cannot. And now you finna hear the British accent come up out of me now. Why can you not do these things? Well, karma is a bitch, and that shit is so real. Reincarnation is real. They say that to live on eternally is a curse. Yeah, in a sense, but you can break the cycle. You really can. Man, this shit get deep, man. I can't sit here all day and talk to y'all about it right now. I need to start making some pinpoint topics that I want to hit hard on the head and then come at y'all with it, because a lot of people know what's up. They just don't have no direction with this. Spirituality is something bigger than you, me, or God. It is about everybody and everything, everywhere, at all times. Evil, good cannot exist without evil. In this reality right here that we're in this stage of our existence, in this octave of existence, in this wavelength, in this frequency, not in this dimension, because in this dimension we have duality. It's really a trinity, but duality, we have compare and contrast. You have black, you have white, you have everything opposite, and you wouldn't know good if there was not evil. And on that note, you cannot heal yourself if you do not believe you can heal yourself. That's that compare and contrast in another thought. Everything doesn't have to be physical in order for it to be tangible, because what's physical started in the mind anyway. But what's more powerful than the mind? Emotions. Because they can pick you up one day and drag you through the mud the next day, and then your thoughts are everywhere. But that's a video for another time, because I'm about to slide out of here and go have me a good time downtown sitting by the river walk, because I enjoy the water and it's soothing. Cats meet me. You know where I'm at. Oh, and don't limit yourself. I'm gonna start saying that more. I used to say it all the time. Stop limiting yourselves. Everyone's so limited. I can't do this. I can't do that. Tell me what you can do. I'm tired of hearing what the fuck people can't do. All right, enough talking. And I ain't finna preach to y'all. I'm just telling you how it is for my life and a lot of the people's lives that I've encountered. Ain't none of this shit, no dummy boy shit, man. I love y'all, especially my doubters. You're not only doubting me, you're doubting yourself in and of itself. These things that I'm saying, you can agree with it or not agree with it. Regardless, I mean, I'm just trying to show you how to be the infinite potential being that you already are. We're trying to reach Christ consciousness here. Be of Christ, not be. You can be just like him. All he is a prophet, man. Someone who knew how to channel the energies for real, just like these folks like Muhammad, just like motherfucking Gandhi. Ain't nothing new to any of these things that I say. It ain't nothing new. But all right, I'm outie. Y'all have an amazing night. I appreciate that, Harry. You already know what's going on. We all groovy, and we got that power. The baseball analogy. Oh, I got analogies for days, man. I do. I could teach you the same thing in 7 different ways. But I am no teacher. I am no preacher. I am just me. Discern on everything that I have said. If it resonates, then go with it. If it doesn't, oh well, no harm, no foul. But I'm dropping some jewels here for y'all to go and begin your path to self-healing. Because you don't need anything external. You don't. Mind, body, health, spirit as well. And I'm out.